Kevin, thank you so much for joining me. Now, you know me as the question guy, and so does my audience, but we're here to talk about Uchi because I actually see the word right there on your virtual background. But more specifically, Uchi is an app, a tool to help people engage in conversation. And we want to talk about that from a couple of different perspectives. But first, I want to talk about it from something that we're going to do. You're going to be a part of the Envision Speaker Series special event in January 2024. And one of the goals that I want to achieve is to engage my speakers better with our audience. And so one of the things I want to do is use the application, the Uchi app, before and after the event. Can you talk to me how important that would be to better engage an audience before and after an event?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking the question and having me on to discuss this a little bit further and in more depth. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about Uchi and specifically about Uchi events, which is another a feature, another way of using the Uchi social platform. Again, social platform, not a social media. And it's funny, you just said you're the question guy, and that's what Uchi's all about, right? So Uchi is all about asking questions and giving everyone an opportunity to share their answers, their perspective, their thoughts, their feelings, their insights, their opinions, and only be heard or only be their answers are only available to their fellow Uchi friends, not everybody, because it's not a public platform. It's only your Uchi friends, or in an Uchi event, which we're talking about now, only your fellow Uchi tribe members within an event. So, the two most important reasons why people attend events, this is from the research, is for the subject matter and for networking with other attendees, right? And also with the speakers or presenters of the event, if there's more than one. But an event can be a webinar, right? So in an event, using Uchi as a communication, a connection, and a relationship building tool, Uchi is a fantastic activity to do before the event and in the days, weeks, even months post event. So, I've been around the block for quite a few decades in the professional world and everything, and you've been around a little bit too. Well, we're the same age. And so, I've attended conferences with a full year of buildup to the conference. Like, we're going to have the conference. It's going to be great. Check out the vendors. Everything's awesome. These are the speakers. Here's the agenda. Okay, that's great. It's important. There's a big buildup. The conference happens. Maybe it's an afternoon. Maybe it's 4 days. I've been to all those kinds of conferences, and it's great. And then as soon as you leave the conference, it is like dropping off a cliff, and nothing happens afterwards. Nothing. Like nothing happens. There's no follow up. Maybe there's, hey, thanks for attending, but that's it. And you hand out business cards, back in the day, you hand out business cards. So rarely does anyone ever even follow up on those business cards, unless you made some profound connection. So with Uchi, as a pre-event or post-event activity to facilitate conversation, and it's all asynchronous and it's all guided conversation because everything on Uchi starts with a question. So the way it works in an event is, let's say you've got 100 people attending an event. The event organizer can randomly put all of those 100 people attendees into random Uchi tribes of, let's say, 10 people per Uchi tribe. The event organizer comes up with a handful of questions to help these attendees get to know each other. It can help them get to know each other just as people, through their profession, why they want to attend the event, what are you hoping to get out of the event, tell something, share something interesting about yourself that wouldn't even come up typically at an event conversation. Just get to know your questions. And now in the, let's say 2 weeks prior to an event, you start to get to know this handful, because it'd only be 10 people in your little Uchi tribe, get to know those people better. And then when you attend the event, whether it's virtual or in person, you've already got some friends, basically, because you've gotten a chance to answer these questions and read each other's answers and comment back and forth. And of course, the rules of Uchi and an Uchi tribe is you can only read the answers of the people in your tribe, and you can only read their answer if you've already answered that question. And then the same thing happens post-event, where the event organizers, or you can do it by speakers, where speakers and presenters can be, say, the tribe leader, and they can lead conversations, and you put attendees into all these different Uchi tribes and have follow-up questions. And these can now be specific to what happened during the event. So it can be very customized. And again, this is why it's guided. It's not like a Facebook group or group text message where it's just random and all over the place. It's guided. And again, you have to answer in order to read your other Uchi tribe members' answers. And how can you connect if both parties aren't sharing? This is why Facebook groups don't work so well. This is why group text messages don't work as well to have real connection, because it does not require everybody to contribute. And if both parties aren't contributing, how do you really connect? And what we've noticed in our data, not noticed, what we've seen in our data is that these Uchi tribes of 10 people and 10 questions usually last about 1 to 2 weeks for everyone to answer the questions, comment back and forth, have conversation, and then all those conversations naturally fade out. And that's how it's so powerful after an event, because again, typically after the event, it's like crickets. But with Uchi, you can continue the conversation, have it very specific and guided to what happened during the event, and that lasts 1 to 2 weeks. But then after that, you can even run another Uchi tribe, right? So you could have a second Uchi tribe with the same people, but a different set of questions, and have that in weeks 2 to 4 after an event. And then if you want, do it again, same people, different questions, or change the groups up with different people and different questions, or however you want to mix and match a group of people and a group of questions, because that's what an Uchi tribe is. So that's really how Uchi events works, and it keeps people engaged, and it's very different than the apps that events are creating, and which people pay to have these apps made specific for their event. But those apps tend to be primarily information out only. Here's the agenda. Here are the breakout sessions. Here are the attendees. Here are the presenters. Here's where all the booths are. Where does the attendee have engagement? Now, sometimes they do offer like, oh, reach out to a person and connect with them. But now you have to like manually figure out, who do I want to connect with? I'm searching through the attendee list. Is my information being shared that I don't want it to be shared? And I don't want these people contacting me, or I do. But with Uchi, everything's very private, and it's, again, guided conversation where you must contribute in order to consume, and that really brings people together.